Starting now. What? No, you made a comment that I was fucking George DJ Droopy Nipples or something, so I was playing off that. Yes, you fucking did. Ugh. So anyway, how's my drop frames? That's pretty cool. Alright, so what I'm going to quickly do is I set up these ocean settings with a dirty flag instead of doing the on-changed event, and that's kind of retarded because if multiple things are listening and checking for that dirty flag, they apply their settings and then set it to not dirty. That only works if you're doing for one thing. Whereas if I have an unchanged event, it can go out to everyone that's listening and they can do what they need to. And one of them isn't going to take control. So I'm just going to quickly change that back. And then I may... Oh, there's another issue I want to work out with the ocean where the distortion on the water isn't actually distorting what's under it for some reason. So I've got to work that out, and then I'm probably going to move on to something else involving procedurally spawning things like bubble particles and that kind of thing in the water, because this ocean stuff is getting boring. Alright, so back to this business. Get rid of all of this. So it'll visit me. Now, initialize the level, I need to say in here, I'm calling it here, so here I just need to say, I actually need a shortcut for this. And that worked out fine, so I'll delete that. Where was I firing that? Maybe I remember. That's a bit silly. So I'll just make a helper here. Void broadcast changed. And implement that. And that doesn't matter. That's not editor only. So I'll do this here. Actually, that can be up here. And what I might do is just make a separate dingus for editor. Where are we? Open containing folder underscore editor. So I'll do that later. Alright, now if on change is bound, because if no one's listening, I don't need to fire it. On change broadcast and I don't believe that takes any. Oh yeah, it does. It takes a property changed event. Can I make one? Alright, so that I actually need to, where are we? Grab that and pop that in there. So, put that there. And broadcast using that. And then I'll do the overload. So string name, and we'll wang that in there. And then hopefully property changed then property name I think the problem with doing this is I think it might actually be an editor type, so I can't. I shouldn't actually do this. Where are we? Source runtime? No, it's runtime. Okay. And what's it take as a constructor? Come on, dude. Definition. It takes a property chain and a source event. It's a very heavy type. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to do this instead. What does this give me? Property change event get property name, because that's all I use. So that returns an F name. Alright, so I'm going to change this to F name as a references. No, an F name, and then you can be an F name, and it's a constant, and that's cool. Alright, so name, it's not a reference, wang that in there, like that. And then here, comment that out, and then broadcast changed, where get property name. And comment that out. And here again, say broadcast change. I think I'll do that. Yeah. Alright, cool. Now I'm just going to rebuild this. Come on, Jesus. and just for practicality, I'm going to move this into back to, and that of course will need, come on, what's it doing? Like that. And then this whole bloody thing is going to be wrapped in editor. So that we go in there. How do you do the opposite? I think it's like if not or something. If not, or do you still question? I don't know. Yeah, that seems to be it. Alright, so get rid of that. That's fine. And all this other junk's fine. So save that. And that's cool. Alright, now the other thing I want to do is in the editor, if I'm changing stuff, this change event is taken care of. If I'm doing it at runtime and not calling the code directly, what's that? Yeah, if I'm calling the code directly, I'd have to manually set a flag or fire the event. So for convenience, I'll just do this. Just say set property, and then I'll take a T function. This may not work with a Blueprint function, I'm not sure. The function returns nothing, but as an argument, it's going to take the UOcean settings as a reference, and let's call that func. Create an implementation in the base settings, not the editor one. Ensure func, and then func taking this. Yeah, and then broadcast change. Actually, what I might do is this: return a name, and then property name change that. No. And as I say, that may not work with Blueprint, so I'll just check. Yep, doesn't work with Blueprint. That's fine. Blueprint can eat balls. I'll make that inline because I can. And that can go down here. So that's pitching, which is great. I really hope I just didn't delete everything. Yeah, I did. Anyway, settings, set property, taking a reference, and the arguments were UOcean settings, let's call that S. I think it's small pipe. I hope I do this. It's much more, C++ is much more verbose. It doesn't implicitly pick up what you're telling it to do. Alright, so S, data, distance to horizon, out distance, horizon distance, return text distance to horizon. Yeah, so I need to get rid of that. Initialize, I don't need to call that because now this calls that in the settings object itself. I haven't deleted this, which is great, so I'll bring that back. I need to change the signature of that so that Ocean component takes, I believe it was a, here, it needs to be a concept name, property name, which of course can also be null. At the moment, I don't care what the property name is, but I may, so. Now that should be good. Okay, that's good. And initialize is hooking that up. Alright, so just one more thing in the Ocean component in the editor version where it has set settings. In here, I want to go this settings on changed. And what was it? I think it's add new object. This and then new component on settings changed. I believe that's all I need to do. Now this sun and sky stuff I'm not setting in the component anymore, so I'll actually get rid. No, I'll comment it out for now. Skylight, and if you recall from yesterday, I also I excluded that from the data check because this is what I was going to do. Alright, so where are we? Set sunlight, skylight. Get rid of those. And get rid of those. And this doesn't work, and it doesn't need to anymore, so get rid of that. And I can get rid of, well actually, this isn't actually used anymore. And update sun direction is also not used. to do that somewhere else. So I'll just make a note here. To do handle transform and property changes. To do transform property changes. See, it doesn't matter if you move the skylight. And they're fine. So for my purposes at the moment, I'm not, none of this is really dynamic. I'm not changing the sun or time of day in the game, so I'm not too concerned about that. And nor am I really changing any of these. They're all static settings. So I've missed something here. May also change the post-process materials over to the settings as well. I don't know. I'm still a bit unclear on the dividing the responsibility between the component and the settings. I mean, the settings should contain the generator as well. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever. In fact, having anything in the component only makes sense if I'm having multiple oceans kind of thing. So I'm not sure. I'm just complicating things. Alright, see how this goes. And the next thing to fix is the distortion stuff. I have some idea why that's not working. What are you doing? You're spazzing out. You're spazzing out. What are you doing? What has you triggered, buddy? Ensure condition fail. Scene depth texture parameter. Ah, shit. That's the that is a 4.19 problem, and doesn't matter. Alright, so you can see here all the colours pretty good. The issue. Now let me just turn off the depth of field because that's not making anything easier. Off. Okay. Now the issue is, if you look at this, which I set up as a test, you can see that is clearly distorting what's behind it. But if I put this over this, well, okay. I guess something changed. Hang on. There's something weird about it. So here, Yeah. Here you can see where it's not using any of my effects behind it. That's fine. But where it is, you can still see the clear shape. It's like it's not distorting it, which is very odd. And I don't know why. So, and just to check, the post-process materials should be set to before transparency. So I'll just double check that that's the case. So if we go here, see it's post-process and it's before translucency. And that's above water plane, below water plane, post-process, before translucency. So I thought that's all you had to do, but perhaps not. So I'm just going to copy that, guys. I'm going to make a new label. I'm going to tilt that slightly, copy my sphere, and you can see, actually I can make this, hang on, I'll call this distortion fix. If I just change this guy's material to bugger off the reflection and just isolate that distortion. Alright, so that's, now that it's just distortion, and you see it's clearly distorting it. So to emulate what I'm doing with the ocean, I'm weighing in one of those, set it to unbound so it applies everywhere, and then up here I'll just say PP test, and all I'm going to do is set that to post-process. I'll leave that where it is for now. I'll say scene, I think it's, is it scene texture? Yes. That guy, that goes in there. And all I'm going to do is multiply it by color. So it can be piss yellow. Brilliant. So see the effect there. You can't see it here because I haven't added it. So asset reference, that guy. Right. So you see that, and you see it's still distorting, and that may be because I haven't changed the order to before translucency. So if I do that, okay. So you see that this draws on top because it's translucent, but it's still distorting what's behind it. So it must be something I'm specifically doing in the material, and it's nothing wrong with post-process materials in general. So if I go back here and I add my PP above water plane, okay, yeah it is. So you see there's something odd going on there. Maybe it's to do with grabbing the depth buffer, I don't know. So if I go back to this dude and open the material, which is nothing special, it's using a stencil buffer which doesn't come into play. If I just pipe base color in there, it returns to normal, okay. And if I just do above water, yeah, okay, so something's up. So if we go into the material itself, it's it's not that complicated, but I figure it is, obviously, in this thing. So I'll make it even simpler. I'll rip this out. I'll go back to PP test, and I'll set that to PP test, the yellow fella, and I'll just paste just this depth color thing in here, and this is going to look horrendous. Yeah, okay, so that's, you can see now the distortion isn't having any effect at all, and that would seem to be the problem. So if I go into PP, so you can see over here, PP depth, I've just plugged it straight into here. I'm not worrying about, they can all go. Anyway, so this is a problem, dude. Then inside that, it's reasonably straightforward, but I think maybe that has to do with it. And that's the sort of function. So if I just grab that, what does this give me? And this might be my problem here, just grabbing that texture coordinate. Maybe it should be some other node. So I do that, it's going to be horrific. Ugh. Okay, hang on. That's an easy fix. I can just clamp that to 0 to 1. So it doesn't look like retarded. Alright. So, I mean, it's not necessary, but this is, yeah, whatever. Anyway, so it's screwed up here still. So, if I go into position from depth, that's grabbing scene depth, but so if I grab this scene depth node and I just use that, what happens? So I'm not exactly sure why I'm using this and not the buffer. It might automatically far out. I'm just going to do this, otherwise we won't see anything. Okay, so that's not distorting either. So the problem might be there. If I grab the scene texture and change it to scene depth, pop that, just use a component mask to grab a single channel, do that, and what does that give us? That's the same. So that's scene depth, whereas if I do this, that's the issue. Yeah. Huh. Don't know what the fix is there. See if there's any other node. There's pixel depth. No. Sample scene depth. Like I might be able to somehow grab the normals from the surface and perturb what's behind it. Like if I look into the code, yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do. So this isn't going to be very interesting. Actually, that smart guy. If I look in Discord, go from Death Ray. What? Why can't I do that anymore? Search by name is gone. That's rude. Maybe I've still got it open on my phone. So here, it'd be bizarre if I can do it on my phone but not there. Yeah, I can do it on my phone. That's okay. Death Ray. Search. And then he provides a link to, where is it? Distortion aware fade. I don't know. Oh, it's just a streamer mode. So if I disable that and search, I don't get it. Death Ray. Oh, there it is. Scene depth at distorted points. Clamping part. Okay, and it works. This works in a clamp in a custom node. And this is going to take what? A normal. Yeah, I don't really. Alright, this is what I'll do. That is all fine, but what I need to do is this. Make a new function, mf distorted depth. That's just going to output the depth. Now the inputs I need are scalar input one, because it's water, I'm going to just use the default 1.33. Fraction. Which is I'm streaming, dude. Game development. Game development. I'll show you. Hang on. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to do. Channel. That one. posted in main. So I need I'll just use that as a have the refraction, and then I need the material normal, which is going to be a float 3. Oh, 3. Normal. And the other two I don't care about. And this can be a normalized vector, I guess. So let's make a point up. And then that pipes into a custom node, which has the same two arguments, refraction, normal. That's going to output a float 1 because it's depth. That goes in there. And that's probably going to need a say depth bracket. And in here, you know what? I'm going to say temp.hrfs1. Hopefully that'll get me syntax highlighted. Alright, so I'll stick these in here. Let's be anal about this. Now this is expecting a number of things. Refraction should actually be a float 2. I'm just going to say append vector where the constant value is what? So that's the refraction input. G is the refraction bias, which I've never changed, so I'm happy to keep constant. What's the default for that? Bias. Refraction depth bias is 0, so cool, 0, easy. Go back here, and then grab all that. Now, what I'm not using is depth fade, distance, and opacity. Oh, okay, this is actually outputting a float 4. So that's the one there that I don't want. Alright, so what's the 2? Depth phase distance is what? Yeah, so that's that 4th parameter I don't give a shit about. And I don't give a shit about opacity either, so I'm just going to make that 1. In fact, I'm just going to make that float 3. And that. Now, I should only have 1 instance of that now, so I'll get rid of that, and opacity is only 1 instance of that. So that should be good to stick in here. Scene texture min-max. I mean, he made this for 4.16 and it's now up to 4.20, so it was for 4.16, now it's for 4.20, so it's not surprising if something's changed. Invalid subject, scene texture min-max, scene texture min-max. And actually, when I looked this up, I think he said something about that. The code here should work for custom mode and new engine versions if you comment out the clamping part. Clamp. Range, inverse width, distortion offsets. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Alright, scene texture min-max. What is resolved view? Right, so I've got to work out what the replacement is for this bit of code. So if I go to source and I look up scene color rect, it doesn't exist without resolved view. Yeah, that exists, but it's also fucking everywhere. Well, here's a guy saying, with this release, this code doesn't work no more. Hey, what the fuck? And frame.sing, okay. Where are we? No. And this guy's complaining about version 4.11, so I don't know why. Where is it? Scene texture min-max. Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. They've changed it. If I So if you see, if I look up that, it doesn't exist. But if I change this to 416, it should exist. No, you can't. Can you not search a GitHub search branch? You can't do it. That's stupid. So at some point they've changed this call here. It'd be surprising if it wasn't in the same thing. Let me. Resolve view. I just want to know what's in that actual structure. It's called view state. It's called view state. That's on the C++ side. What was that? Extension USH? USF. Y. Can't see where this bloody thing's defined. Oh, here we go. Jesus. Right. So this is. So I should be able to find this. Yeah. So that hasn't changed, but scene section min max has. Is there some kind of min max? I really doubt that's the same. It will be. It will be a vector 4 still. How do I do this? Is there not? Yeah, there's a history. Alright, hopefully this goes back far enough. So if I go back to 416, it means here somewhere. That's 414. Alright, so we've got 414. Ugh. Shit, dude, just give me the... I just want to see the changes to that actual file. If I do that, it takes me to the notes. If I do that, I guess it sticks it in the clipboard. If I do that, what happens? It takes me to the notes, and that shows me the repository at that point. I just want to see the history of that file. Because, like, there's a lot of files. Well, I can just... Shit. I can just give something a shot. View normal. So this guy is that. What is view normal? Oh boy, I have changed a lot. Let's try writing that in there. This would seem to indicate that, no, because view normal, that would expect me to use this in a material, whereas I'm using it in a post-process shader, which might not actually be possible. Surely it's just a matter of sampling the world normal. Yeah, like that. I'm not, like, that's not compiling at the moment. That doesn't mean it's not right. So if I go into pp test and I use, where is it? distorted depth, and then pipe that in there. Yeah, it still doesn't work. Yeah, so that doesn't work. In fact, if it did work, the view normal thing would have worked anyway. So. There's a way of seeing the, let's do this. There's a way of seeing the output in HLSL. Cannot convert from float 3 to float 4. Let me guess. Where did I put it? It's vector 4. What are you complaining about? Ah, there we go, HLSL code. Now I'm not sure if it does this before or after. But that may be assuming it's used in material, so it might not be right. So if I look at this, this will give me, this will tell me what I can use. So if I go here, just have attempt to get off. See, why would it give me those if it's not? Like I can't access, that's just a struct, so. It's odd that it generates that for a post-process show. Anyway. Alright, so if I just hook up what I did before, this fucking PCLO thing. Grab that, and then I search for number there. And that is giving me material pixel parameters. So what was this giving me? If I change this to depth, what's it do? Obviously, yeah. And I'm looking at 1700-ish. 1700. Get default scene texture UV parameters 14, where 14 I guess is the depth. What if I do this? And that's outputting a float 4 kind of. If I go custom, and that's outputting float 4, and I type this in directly, that should give me exactly the same. Why isn't that working? I mean, is that not what is exactly here? What else? Alright, I want to see where it puts the custom code, so I'm just going to pull input and we'll return float for input. Save it. And actually, just to debug it, I'll say, hey, copy. Oh crap. Hey, go back there. God damn it. And where's it stuck? Hey. It's wanged it in its own function, but I should be able to still be able to call functions outside of that. So that's giving me an input, which is fine, and it's giving me parameters. I wonder if I can call parameters, where the parameters have shit like I'll just take the definition. Has world normal, so I should just be able to go like world normal 1. Oh, and it is. Yeah. Alright, so what have I got? I've got if hang on. It's got all those. I'm gonna copy that to a document. And then the 1700-ish mark, I've got this scene texture lookup, which for whatever reason I can't call from that function, but can I call get default scene texture UV? What if I go float to UV, get scene texture UV parameters. Yeah, I could do that. And then I could say UV, yeah, that looks right. But I still need to be able to, I don't know why I can't do that scene lookup thing. Scene texture lookup. Float for test. Scene texture lookup. Float. Well, I've got that here, don't I? Scene texture lookup. No matching parameter. Well, that means it exists. UV. Scene texture index I know is 14, and that should be false. That works. And then test. What am I doing? Let's return test. Oh, hang on. That's why. Return. Not sure why that's clear. Hmm? Maybe one's death. I don't know. Alright, now to get something sensible, I'm just going to stick that in there. Yeah, that's depth. Alright, well, that's a start. If I go back here, the issue is it requires a material normal. view normal and get from fuck happened. Right, so I don't know why I need scene color rect, but just for the hell of it. Oh, because it's not returning anything, maybe? Anyway, for now, I'm going to say return view normal. And I can go in there. And it changes color, which I guess is cool. Make this a fraction. I think it's 1.33. And I'll give that a shot. And then I will return float 3 distortion 1. Yeah? Copy this block of text. Cool. And then I'm going to say that 1, 1. I should get something red. Whoops. Or, you know, whatever. Not too sure why they give me. Oh, wait a minute. Huh. Yeah, not sure why I'm getting that color. Whatever. Distort seam depth. If I do that, that should be red. Oh, it's probably, that's why. That's out of range. It's not normalized between 0 and 1. Alright, just weighing these in there. And that in there. And let it return for. So that's what's it meant to be returning? It's doing the UV, the depth, and the depth fade. So all I want is B. So if I take that dude, divide it so I get a sensible value, and do that, I should get that. Now the issue will be I thought I'd do it. I wish I knew what this scene color rect was. Maybe it's just normalized. So I can set that to, where is it? Scene color rect. I'm going to set that to float 4, and what's it looking at? It's looking at one. It's expecting if it's smaller than X or it's greater than Z. So that should be, I think that is it. What? Redefinition. It's commented out, you mom. You can't complain about a redefinition and then complain that it's not there at all. Ah, did something weird. God damn it. Interesting. I think I think the issue is, and actually there may not be a way around it. The issue is this is occurring before translucency, and then therefore before the distortion is even accounted for. So it doesn't know about the distortion to actually distort it. Now I thought, I thought this distortion would do everything behind it, including the post-process stuff, but evidently not. What if... See, it's odd. If I go scene texture and then grab scene color, which I'm not sure. Yeah, that doesn't work. What is it? Base color? Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't work either. So what the hell is... I don't get it. So maybe if I play around with these, if I do that and then go replace the tone mapper, SSR input, whatever the hell that is. No, because no, none of that shit's gonna work. Alright. I'm pausing a stream for a bit.